The Israel-Palestine conflict has caused war and friction throughout university campuses, both here and abroad. For the Jews, Israel is their religious, spiritual and ancestral homeland, which they returned to after 2,000 years of exile in 1948. For Palestinian Arabs who have lived there for over 1,000 years, Palestine is not only their home, it is also the place of the third most holy site in Islam. Given the highly charged and emotive nature of the conflict, it is only inevitable that there will be clashes between the Jewish Israeli societies and pro-Palestinian societies on university campuses. On Tuesday the 8th of November, the University of Exeter's Friends of Palestine Society invited controversial speaker Gilad Atzman to speak. Atzman, an ex-Israeli Jew, has been accused of anti-Semitism for his inflammatory statements about the Holocaust and the Jewish people. The University of Exeter's Jewish Society were out in force protesting the holding of this event. I caught up with the protesters to find out why they were here.
Gilad Atzman is anti-Semitic. He's a racist. There's, in his articles, his books, his interviews, he's repeatedly made racist statements against the Jewish people. And we, the Jewish Society, and a lot of the student body believe that racists should not have a free platform on campus. That's why we're protesting.
What has he said specifically that's racist?
He claims that the Jews are trying to control the world. He has called Jews inhuman. He has called the burning of a synagogue a rational act. He says the Jewish people exaggerated the Holocaust. He's compared Israel. He said Israel's worse than the Nazi Party. That's just some of the things he said.
Before the talk started, Gilad Atzman came out to confront protesters, and this is what he had to say.
Did anyone here who pickets and call me an anti-Semite or whatever? Did you read Gilad Atzman?
I haven't read the whole thing, but I've seen enough bad quotes to make me...
No, you saw quotes. Did you read my papers?
No, I haven't read it all.
No, you don't have to be aggressive. I'm not aggressive with you. You realize that those quotes do not represent what I think, what I say, and in most cases they are not even my quotes. Do you realize it?
Why should they be...
Are you a student in this university? When you study a philosopher, do you read them by quotes or do you read them?
Well, I concentrate on the quotes.
Really?
That constitutes the main body of the thing.
Really, when you study Immanuel Kant, you study him by sporadic quotes?
No, I read the whole thing.
You read, so why don't
you...
Instead of addressing one student,
yeah, why
okay, no.
Opportunity to address everyone at the same time.
I really think that if you take yourself seriously, and it is a serious issue, the minimum you should do is to go and read. You shouldn't get quotes provided to you by an Asbara or by an Israeli propaganda unit. And if you have a problem with anything I say, and if you see a trace of anti-Semitism, you will be entitled to raise your hand and to point at it.
I spoke to the Friends of Palestine Society to find out why this event was taking place, given the widespread criticism of his views.
Because the book that he wrote, we think it's very relevant to what's going on in Palestine, the conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis. Judaism plays a huge role in what's going on.
But the Jewish Society accused him of anti-Semitism. If you invite somebody who's anti-Semitic, does that not do a disservice to the Palestinian cause?
Yeah, but Gilad is not an anti-Semite, and Gilad is an anti-religion. He's an atheist, so he doesn't promote violence against Jews or any other people.
Okay, and we have the events coordinator here. According to his website, he's not against the Jewish religion, he's against the Jewish ideology and Jewish nation.
Yeah, he's against contemporary Jewish ideology, which has transmitted itself into Zionism in this day and age. And unfortunately, Zionism is actually an anti-Semitic movement. And he's against racism, and he's against the oppression of the Palestinian people. And when he says he's against Jewish ideology, he's not against Jewish people. He's not inciting racial hatred against the people themselves. He's expressing an opinion against an ideology. Why does he deserve criticism for opposing an ideology when, perhaps the Tory party at Exeter, they constantly oppose the communist ideology or the socialist ideology? Where's the difference? You're allowed to oppose an ideology. We live in a free country where freedom of speech is promoted. And if he did say anything anti-Semitic, which we don't believe he will, and we don't believe he is an anti-Semite, surely it's important for people to engage in debate with people who are racist or who do oppose ideas against what they believe in. It's very important that people engage debate rather than have a no platform policy.
After the talk, I caught up with Atzman himself and I asked him, given the controversy surrounding his visit, why was he here?
Because I think that it is very important for me to share my experience and my thoughts about volatile conflict with as many people as possible. And as I could see today, there were a lot of people in the room. Discussion was extremely interesting, and pretty much all of them went home with a book, and everybody who came here saw that there was no any discussion about race. If anything, that those people who try to detract me, if it's 2% of it would be correct, I myself would join them and picket against me. But it is all obviously complete fantasy. Is there to support the Zionist cause. Before the talk, I asked the 15 young students who picketed me whether any of them ever read my text, and not one of them admitted to read me. So obviously they are manipulated by very dark Zionist forces, and as we can see, they don't get anywhere. When people look into my own writing, they won't find racism.
That was Gilad Atzman. Despite the protests, the event went off without any serious incident. Perhaps this could not be said for the wider conflict between Israelis and Palestinians.